and I am so excited to be here and presenting with you today. So, I'm going to open up with a question today. I would love to know who here, whether you're live or on the replay, is launching right now or launching something in quarter 4 in your business and would love to make a lot more money in your launches with your virtual events by filling your high-end programs. If that is you, type the word grow in the chat. So today I'm really going to be sharing just one piece with you of what you can do to change your results that you're getting from your launches and virtual events. And if you've never come across me before, again, I'm Celia Faye Meisel, and I am a career entrepreneur. And I've actually been able to see inside of multiple influencer and guru businesses. I have trained, run, led, and sold for sales teams that have done over 8 figures in high-end program sales. That's approximately $10.7 million in sales. And so in doing all those sales, I've done over 27 launches and virtual events over the last few years. It's taught me a lot about what really needs to happen to pull off a successful launch and event, and also show me what the missing pieces are that can really cause a launch or event to fall flat. And with all of that, I have taken all my expertise, and I'm here today sharing with you this live stream. So I want you to know really quickly that I am doing an upcoming 3-day virtual event where I'm going to be going much deeper into the topics I'm talking about today. And so if you're interested in details about that free 3-day virtual event, it's not a full day virtual event. It's just a few hours each day for 3 days. If you're interested in more details on that, please drop more money in the chat and I will get those details over to you. So let's dive into the content of the 3 common mistakes that lose you money in your launches and virtual events. The first common mistake is that you're not getting enough buzz going around your launch, okay? When you're not getting enough buzz going, it could be a marketing problem. It could be a marketing and messaging problem. It could be a positioning problem. I'm going to talk more about that. And it also could be a consistency problem. It could be one of those 3, or it could be all of those. And the thing is with launches and virtual events is that in order for them to be successful, you need to get momentum going. There needs to be excitement going about your message, about what you have going on, so that people want to jump on board. They want to participate in your launch content. They want to participate in your event. They want to show up for your webinars, however you're delivering and leading up to making the offer. The thing is that you want to get that momentum and that buzz going early on and get those eager leads joining in who are excited and ready to buy. And here's the thing, the more momentum you build, the more engagement you have, the more interested people you have hanging out with you and connecting with your content. But the key is that you want to build momentum by getting interested buyers on board. So we sometimes see a lot where, well, somebody will have a launch and be like, oh my gosh, I had 300 people in the room and all these people signed up for my webinar and all these people, blah, blah, blah. You know, they're so interested and they were all engaging and showing up for everything, and then they didn't buy. Okay, so that's a perfect example of, you know, you've got the leads, you got people coming in, but nobody's buying. That says that that's a positioning problem. So remember that the buzz and the engagement is not just about people commenting and liking and showing up. It's also about getting those eager buyers, and that means that you're attracting and qualifying the right people before you go in to make the offer. And the thing is that your offer, it has to be positioned in a way that's easy to understand and that it's the obvious next step for prospects to come into. So you don't have to hide your offer until like this moment, you know, when you get to like make the offer, anything like that. The offer needs to be woven into the entire sales process, into the entire marketing journey and customer journey, so that when people come in and they actually hear the offer, it makes sense. So actually this week I was in a Zoom meeting with one of my clients, and we were actually working on their launch plan and their marketing plan for their high-end offer that they're getting ready to launch this quarter. And so we were going through all of the pieces, and immediately the first thing that I started diving into was fixing the messaging around the offer, because it's these subtle tweaks, how you position your bullet points and your benefits and how you're talking about it and how you're positioning the testimonials. These subtle tweaks in them, in the language, in the messaging, in the words that you're using, can make a night and day difference between attracting the right people and really attracting any people to having, a lot of interested leads and buyers who are connecting with it. So it makes a big difference. And it's the first thing that I do with all of my clients when we're going into launch mode for their events and their offers. So that's really something to think about. And actually, in my upcoming 3-day virtual event, where we're going to be talking about filling your high-end programs with multiple six figures, launches, and events, that's the first thing that I'm going to dive into. So we're going to spend a whole day on this very piece, on the positioning, on getting the buzz going and getting the excitement going around your launch, around your offer, so that you are primed and that you have lots of buyers. So again, if you're interested in those details about that event, drop more money in the chat and we will get those to you. Okay, number 2, the second mistake is not having a clear launch or event plan. If you're going on a road trip and you are going there for the first time, you're going somewhere for the first time, are you going to have a map going? Are you going to have your iPhone GPS map app going? Or you're going to, back in the day, we would print off the MapQuest directions, or, those who are really big into map reading might get out your Rand McNally Road Atlas. For those of you in the US, probably know what that is. So if you're going to go somewhere for the first time, you're going to have a map. And even if you're going somewhere where you've been many times, a lot of times that you'd like to have that map up just for reference, just so like if you zone out and you tune out, or if you get off track with your drive, that you have that map to bring you back on course. Okay. So the same goes for your launches and virtual events. I don't care if it's your first launch. I don't care if it's your 15th. You want to have a plan and a roadmap for it, because otherwise there's multiple things that happen. One is that you are winging it. You're kind of figuring it out as you go, and you're guessing, do I do this? Do I do that? What happens here? What happens there? And so you're not really clear about that step-by-step movement, the step-by-step direction that needs to happen for you to get to your end goal. The other thing that happens is that you start to feel exhausted and angry at your business. This is where I see entrepreneurs, business owners wanting to throw in the towel on their launches. I'm done. I want to call it quits. I'm thinking about shifting industries. That always comes back to a lot of mental pressure and stress going on with the business owner around all the steps that are needed to execute the launch and the event. It's very, very common. However, we can alleviate that pressure and we can relieve the pressure by having a clear plan, so that you and everybody else on your team knows what needs to happen and in what order. And if something goes off course, we know how to come back to we know how to come back to home base and get back on track again. And you really want your plan to serve as a cadence for all of the steps that you're going to be taking, for how you're going to operate the launch or the event, for every detail, for the marketing. This is where you capture all of the steps. And it's something that I do with my clients, where we map it all out, because I have a brilliance for really streamlining things and figuring out all of the operational steps that need to happen while pairing it with that conversion journey. And that leads into my third point, which is mistake number 3, making sales hard and difficult. Okay, I see a lot of coaches and business owners really overcomplicating their sales process. It's overcomplicated, it's complex, it's confusing. There's documents and information spread all over the place. And what's happening is they're piecemealing together their sales process from a script here, conversation script there. They're getting pieces from here and there and kind of piecemealing it together. And even if you've come into and bought a course that teaches you all of the pieces that you need to have to really have a successful sales process. Oftentimes I've seen those courses, and oftentimes they're a little bit generic or a lot generic, and they're not really thinking about they can't think about because they're a pre-designed course, but the business owner doesn't have anybody really guiding them step by step, element by element, to make sure that everything is alignment. And I'll give you actually a story about this. So I joined a program where it was a group program, and it was a higher end program for what it was delivering and what it was offering. And the program offered all of these pieces, all of these scripts, and all of these tools to build your offer and your webinar and this and this. And then the program didn't have any high touch individual one-on-one support or coaching. You could book in a call with a coach and maybe get like a half hour with them. But if you've been down that road before, it's sort of like showing up and having to introduce your business for the first time every time you get on a call with somebody. And so that can be really exhausting for you as a business owner. And so in this case, I had all of these scripts and all of these templates, and I worked for several months just to get my offer aligned and kind of working in their process. I ended up joining another program to help me get the offer going and to like dial in the messaging even more. And then that coach ended up leaving, and I was back on my own again, trying to figure out, okay, how do I get this offer together? So as you can tell just from my explanation, I was spinning my wheels, and I was losing a lot of time and money. And at the same time, while I was working on this offer, I had these scripts and templates and all these things for the sales process, but because I couldn't really dial in my positioning and who the offer was for and all of the things that I help people with, I couldn't get it to go anywhere. And so even though, yeah, sure, maybe I lost money in the time that I spent in the program and just by investing in the program and not seeing an ROI, at this point in the game for where I am in my business, my money is lost in opportunity. So every month or day or week that goes by that I don't have what I need in place to make money, whether it's something with my offer, something with my marketing, with my sales, etc. Every day that goes by, I'm losing money by not having that in place. Now, that's not the case anymore. I now have a coach who is more hands-on and direct with me. And that's really what I need. And that's what high-level business owners need as well. And the thing is that it's actually really challenging to find somebody this day and age who's high touch, who can really be there for you in your business and actually knows what you're doing. So I tell you that whole story because for me, being a sales expert, a positioning expert, I do all these things with my clients. I can't see things with my own eyes sometimes. Like I need that external vision. And so you can come into these programs where you're paying the high-end fees to get the step-by-step sales process from a coach and still be off in the positioning and still be off in the messaging and the targeting and everything. So you really want to think about, is my sales process, is it actually converting? Is it actually speaking to the clients in a way that is going to help them lead, down the road of actually wanting to purchase from me? Or am I just piecemealing together? Am I trying things and I don't really know what I'm doing? And it's okay to be honest with yourself about that. Just in that honesty, you will find a lot of relief and a lot of pressure of like, okay, now I know what I need to do. Now I know that the clarity that I need to get in order to change my result. And so with your sales process, it's very important that it is aligned and customized to your company. This is not a cookie cutter thing. It needs to be aligned and customized with your brand message, with your values, with the messaging and languaging that you use with your prospect, because eventually you may want to outsource your sales. And those are some things that I will talk about in future lives. And I actually just did a video about it a couple weeks ago, but you may want to outsource your sales. And so you need to have this strong foundation for your sales process, for your launches and events, so that when people come in and sell for you, they're plugging right in and representing your brand 100% with integrity, and you're not losing anything along the way. So when when you're dealing with that difficult and hard sales process, because it's piecemeal together, that compounds the stress of what I was talking about before, of not having, the clear roadmap, the clear strategy for your launch and your event. And this is where I see launch dates being pushed back, resistance, giving up on your goals, giving up on your dreams and your numbers and your results, because this belief starts to set in that I can't have this, it's not going to happen, I'm not going to reach my goals. And that clarity and that belief and that determination of having the outcome that you want is a part of this journey, and it's a part of achieving the goal, is having that belief and also having that clarity. And to come to that point, clearing out all of the roadblocks and all of the traps and distractions that keep you that get in the way of that, is also a part of the journey. Okay, so anytime we get stuck on a stumbling block with our launch, with our event, in our businesses, where we're feeling like, oh my gosh, this is too much, oh my gosh, I want to throw in the towel, that is a lesson to come up, to be processed through and learned it and discovered. And oftentimes it's a combination of these strategic pieces, and then there's also that inner work for yourself to want to get over to the other side. And so I have a deep understanding of mindset and transformation, and that's a big part of what I do. Obviously, you can probably tell in me sharing just now. So it's not just the strategy, and when we come into coaching programs where it's all about the strategy, and they're not really looking at you as a human and your journey and where you are emotionally and your background. All of those pieces really play in. And so that's another piece that's kind of a bonus tip, is really bringing inclusivity into your launches. This is a bonus thing, and I am going to be talking more about this on my upcoming event. But when we look at being inclusive, there's a lot of factors that go into that. But thinking about, opening up and really understanding people and understanding their journey. Today, people want to be seen, they want to be heard, they want to be recognized. Even if you're doing a group thing, even if you're, selling into the masses, there's still a way to make it very personalized and very customized to the person on the other side who is that potential buyer. So again, I'm going to go super deep. This is a little under 20-minute live stream. We're going to spend 3 days on these topics, going deeper. And so I want you to think about, what kind of ahas, what kind of light bulb moments did you have in this event, in this live stream event today? Type in the chat some of your top takeaways from what I shared around those 3 common mistakes that happen: not getting enough buzz around your launch, not having a clear launch plan or roadmap, and making sales hard or difficult. You may have a couple light bulb moments, you may have just that one, but please share your top takeaways with me and everybody else. And remember, I do have my upcoming 3-day virtual event where we're going to dive deep into all these areas and more. And I'm going to be supporting everybody who wants to fill their high-end programs with multiple 6-figure launches and virtual events. And so if you want the details to that, drop more money in the chat and I will get the details over to you. Thank you for joining me today. It's been a pleasure to present and share this with you. It's something I'm incredibly passionate about, and I have a lot of wisdom to share in upcoming live streams. And of course, these are the things that I do with my clients when I work with these 8-figure businesses and I see what's going on inside of their businesses. I get to take those lessons and teach my clients who are at 6 figures and multiple 6 figures, things that they can shift and transform right away, so that as they're scaling up and as they're growing their companies, they're actually more in alignment and more clear and inside of their company, so that they can be hitting their goals much quickly and with way less stress, especially operationally around the launches and events. And less stress usually equals more money. So I look forward to connecting with you next time. I look forward to seeing some of you at my event coming up in the next couple weeks. Until then, this is Celia Faye Meisel. Goodbye.